Hi, I'm Gary and welcome to my crafts channel. In this video I'm going to show you how I make these sanding boards, or sanding paddles as you might call them. And this one fits a specialty need that I have for building these craft show shelves, as I'll show you in the video that pops up here. And I use these for sanding the fitted slots on those shelves and getting a good fit, friction fit, because they hold together just by a slotted fit and no hardware whatsoever in them. So this works great, and I'll show you how I do this. Alright, what I'm going to do is take a piece of 1/2 inch plywood, and I'm going to cut this up into some 3.5 inch strips, and then I'll do some further shaping to make these sanding paddles, so to speak. Okay, so here I'm going to drill some 3/4 inch diameter holes in these corners here for forming my handles. What I'll do is get this lined up. Looks pretty close, so I'm going to go with that. I go at this very slowly and easily. Okay, so I've got that one done, plus I've got the other one done also. Then I'll do the other two on the other end for the other handle. Now here at the bandsaw, I'm going to cut along these lines that I drew out to the hole, and then I'll clean up some of the other edges on the sander. Okay, now here at the sander, I'm going to work on smoothing off my edges, getting them straight. I'll use this end here on this part, and then I'll probably put in a spindle sander to get into these tighter corners. These are 3/4 inch corners. So, but then for rounding off these corners, I can do like this here. Okay, change out to a spindle now and get these inside corners. Okay, now I've got a 3/4 inch spindle in here, so I can sand the inside of these corners, get those smooth. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. Next step I'll do is round over these edges on the handle parts here that I'm going to use, so they're more comfortable for my hands. This part here, I can leave these edges straight. Then I'll be adhering my sandpaper onto these on each side. Here I'm going to do a round over on this board, mostly just on these handles here, and just up into the corner here. I don't want to get up into this part or beyond here, because I want good square clean edges there for the sandpaper to stick to. So just going to do around the handles here, and that'll be it. I'm using a 1/4 inch round over bit here, since this is a 1/2 inch piece of plywood. Just doing a 1/4 inch round over. That's very good. It's well rounded over. Be very comfortable for my hands to grip, and it'll make great. It'll make sandpaper on these, and the way I measured out your standard sheet of sandpaper is the width of this is about 1/3 the width of a sheet of sandpaper. I'll show you how I cut that up. here I use one of these cutting mats for cutting this, and I'm going to use a Olfa expanding knife here. It expands in and out, so you can use more blade or less. I find that works pretty good for things like this and patterns. As you can see, this paddle here that I'm making for sanding, well, it takes up about, I can get 3 cuts out of this. So I line up one of the edges here. It's right on. All I got to do is trace this out. A couple of strokes. I've got to have a piece of sandpaper that'll fit this paddle for me. And I'll use a spray adhesive to attach it to here. I'll cut out another one so I can cover the other side of this paddle. Okay, now in this shot, I'm going to adhere the sandpaper to my sanding board. And what I do is I use this Loctite spray adhesive. I just put a thin coat on each of these, so I got the handle covered up so I won't get that all sticky. Then I'll give it about 1 minute to set, and then I'll stick the sandpaper to the board. Okay, I'll give that a minute to set, come back and stick them together. Okay, so I've given these a minute to set up. Now what I'll do is just very carefully position these onto the board here so it can be as even as I possibly can, and then press it firmly into place. Now, if you're off by a hair, that's no big problem. If you're off by an edge here a little bit, no problem. If you're off by a lot, then it could be an issue. And if you're overhanging an edge a little bit, it's no problem. We'll just take and flip this over, and with that cutting board, trim it off with the razor knife so it's good and even. So, got set up. Now what I'll do is I'll do the other side. Well, I've got this sanding board completed, ready to go. And as you see in some of my intro videos there, how I use this for sanding some of these craft show shelves that I build, which fit together with the slotted fit. So it's a friction fit, no hardware or anything, and they can come apart easily, but yeah, they're still sturdy. And to get that, I have to custom fit the slots on those all the time, and I needed a way to do it most efficiently than using some smaller sanding pads or anything like that. So I came up with this idea after about 3 versions. I've come up with this one, and this works great for me. It helps me to get to the fit pretty quickly and easy. As you can see in this video, this works great for fitting my pieces together, and it also helps me to get a good fit. So another question that you may have is, when you wear out the sandpaper on this here, how do you get this off and replace it with new sandpaper? And you can do that easily enough with the heat gun, and that'll let the glue release. As long as you didn't put that spray adhesive on too heavily, it should be pretty easy to get off. I'll show you how I do this on one of my old ones here that was always awkward to use, because trying to hold this straight and everything else, it was really hard to hold it straight. With these handles here, it's going to be a lot easier to keep it straight. So, show you how I get this loose off of here. I just have my heat gun on low. You want to be careful that you don't burn your fingers. I've got to protect the surface on here because this blanket will melt a little bit on me. Takes a little while, so I'll probably time lapse here a little bit. Okay, you can see it's starting to come up. And just keep going on it. Be careful about your fingers, because you can burn yourself with this. There you got it off. And you can put on, clean this up a little bit. There's a little bit of glue residue on here yet, but it won't make your sandpaper that all uneven. So if you can clean it off a little bit, maybe scrape it with a chisel or something like that, then you'll have a pretty good surface to go with again. And until you get to a point where you can't clean it up anymore, then you got to make yourself a new board. So that's how to get more life out of it and change out the sandpapers on it. Well, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it and you got some inspiration to make something for your needs in the shop. These are jigs that we call them. Sometimes you can't always find exactly what you need at the store, so you got to make your own. So we call those shop-made jigs or workarounds. So If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and please share it with your family, friends, and fellow craftspersons. Also, please give me your comments. Love to hear what you think and what else you may want to see. And please subscribe and be sure to hit that bell icon so you won't miss anything. So if the ladies don't find you handsome, at least they find you handy. Thank you.